Welcome to this video class. Yes, hope you all have watched the second lesson, that is nutrition in animals. So now try to answer these bits. Yes, so here are the bits. Try to answer them. Take a pause. First you answer and just you can see the answers in the next slide. So the first bit is the main steps of nutrition in humans. So what are all the steps that it involves in the process of digestion? And the second bit, the largest gland in the human body, which is called as the largest gland in the human body. Third, the stomach releases hydrochloric acid and dash juices which act on food. So along with the hydrochloric acid, few juices are secreted in the stomach. So what are those juices called as? The next one, the inner wall of the small intestine has many finger-like outgrowths. So what are those finger-like outgrowths called as? They mainly help in the absorption of food material. So what are those finger-like outgrowths called as? Then the next one, amoeba digests its food in the dash. Yes, does it possess any digestive system? Or if not, so where the digestion process takes place? Try to answer these bits. Yes, here are your answers now. So the main steps of nutrition in humans. So what is the first process? You take in the food into the mouth, that is buccal cavity. So that process of taking food into the mouth is called as ingestion. So this ingested food has to get digested. So where all the different components have to be converted into other forms. They have to be broken down to simpler ones. So that process is known as digestion. And the next, these digested food in the small intestine has to be absorbed. So the villi-like structures, they help in the absorption of the food material. So after the process of absorption, energy has to be produced from the food material. So some complex substances have to be formed there. So that process where the energy is being utilized is known as assimilation. And once the food is getting digested, the undigested food particle has to be removed from the body. So the last process that involves is egestion. So egestion is the removal of the undigested food particle. So what are all the different steps involved here? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. Yes, so second bit, the largest gland in the human body. So what is the largest gland? Liver is called as the largest gland. So what is the function of this liver? It helps in the production of bile. So the liver consists of a sac-like structure known as gallbladder, and gallbladder, it secretes some liquid which is known as bile. So the function of the bile is that it helps in the breakdown of the fats. So the fats are converted into small globules like structures. It is called as emulsification of fats. It takes place with the help of the liver, which secretes bile. Yes, the next bit, the stomach releases hydrochloric acid. So along with the hydrochloric acid, it also secretes some digestive juices which act on food. It is because the partially digested food has to be broken down to simpler ones. So that it takes place with the help of the digestive juices which are secreted by the walls of the stomach. And the next one, the inner walls of the small intestine, it has many finger-like outgrowths. So what are these outgrowths called as? They are known as villi. So villi increases the surface area of absorption. So these villi, they are present in the small intestine. So the complete absorption of the digested food particles takes place with the help of the villi. So these villi are surrounded by the blood vessels. So from the villi, the digested food particles, it enters into the blood. So where the blood carry these digested food particles to different cells. Yes, and the next bit is amoeba digests its food in the food vacuole. It doesn't possess any digestive system. So the part which is known as food vacuole, so the amoeba, it engulfs the food into the food vacuole and just makes the food to get digested in the food vacuole. Whereas in the vacuole itself, some digestive juices are being released that help in the breakdown of the food particle. So amoeba digests its food in the food vacuole. Yes, try to match this components and to what are they converted to. So after the process of digestion, the components such as carbohydrates, proteins and fats are converted into some other forms. So what are carbohydrates? What are they converted to? Proteins, what are they converted to? And fats. So try to match this with column 1 with column 2. Yes, here are your answers. So carbohydrates are converted to sugar. Proteins are converted to amino acids, whereas fats are converted to fatty acids and glycerol. So all these carbohydrates, proteins and fats, these are all the complex substances which can't be directly absorbed by the body. So they have to be broken down into simpler ones so that our body absorbs them. So that takes place with the help of few digestive juices which are secreted in the digestive tract. So carbohydrates are converted into sugar, proteins are converted into amino acids and fats are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Yes, so here which part of the digestive canal is involved in? So where do the absorption of food takes place? And where does the chewing of food takes place? In the digestive canal. Then the killing of bacteria. Then the next one, complete digestion of food, formation of faeces. So all these processes are done in the digestive canal. So which part is involved in completing this process? So here are the answers. So absorption of food, it takes place in the small intestine. The small finger-like projections known as villi, they help in the absorption of the food particle and they are present in the small intestine. Then chewing of food, you do it with the help of teeth. So where are they present? They are present in the buccal cavity or also known as oral cavity. Then killing of bacteria. So our stomach, it releases few gases known as hydrochloric acid. The bacteria which enters along with the food material, it enters into the stomach and this bacteria is being killed in the stomach with the release of hydrochloric acid. Then the next one, the complete digestion of food. Where does it take place? It takes place in the small intestine. So only after the complete digestion of the food material, the villi absorb the food material and send it to the blood. Then the formation of feces. So once the digested food material from the small intestine as it is absorbed, the undigested food particle, they enter into the large intestine and it is accumulated as the feces. We call it as feces. So the formation of feces, it takes place in the large intestine. So after the formation of feces, these has to be defecated through the part which is known as anus. Yes, now try to match the column 1 with column 2. Salivary glands, stomach, liver, rectum, small intestine and large intestine. Yes, try to match this column 1 with column 2. You just take a pause and try to answer them. So here are the answers. So salivary glands. So what are the three pairs of salivary glands? Parotid gland, submaxillary gland, sublingual gland. So the salivary glands are present in the buccal cavity and they help in the saliva secretion. So as saliva, what is the importance of saliva? It consists of enzyme known as salivary amylase or it is also called as ptyalin. So this ptyalin helps in breaking down the carbohydrates into simpler ones. It acts on the carbohydrates. Then coming to stomach. So acids are released in the stomach. So what is that acid? It is the hydrochloric acid which is released in the stomach. Then coming to liver. So liver, it consists of some sac-like structure as we have already discussed. That is the gallbladder, and what does it secrete? It secretes the bile juice. So bile juice helps in the emulsification of fats that is produced by the liver. And rectum. So in the large intestine, the undigested food particles settle down in the large intestine. So this rectum, it helps in the storage of the undigested food. Then small intestine, where the complete digestion of the food takes place. Then large intestine, so the undigested food particle, as it enter into the large intestine, it helps in the absorption of water. Yes, now try to draw a neat label diagram of digestive system, okay, and just mention the parts. Thank you.